Not too long ago, as a student with no professional work experience, joined a college in Canada, completed the course, landed a job in one of the largest telecom company as a senior business analyst.
In my class, there was some students were young, like 23, 24, and I was in that category. So I did not have much experience. So people used to say that it would be harder to get a business analyst role at the beginning.
So and so, and now the college and the life, or any kind of shocks that you got when you came here?
I think the first day was itself a shock for me because I did not realize that after coming to Canada, it would happen.
If you're struggling to break through into new field or land a first job, remember it's all about resilience, staying determined, staying curious, even the odds are against you.
If your habits are not matching with the job you are looking for, you need to change your habits.
People don't feel that way. It's just that you have to understand the process and crack it. A lot of fresh graduates and newcomers to Canada or to the US are struggling to land their first job. When I came to Canada, I experienced the same thing. We try every possible technique, whether taking advices from the college, universities, mentors, guides, but still fail. Things don't just work the way we expected. Why? Because we are too much into that system. We are too much taking advices from the people that may not be valuable for us. It's easy to lose patience, it's easy to lose faith, and then we criticize the environment, the people, the country, the process, and many other things. In all of these challenging times, the one who succeeds are those who stay disciplined, who show consistency and remain laser focused on their goal. That's exactly what I did when I wanted to search for a job, and I applied through this particular formula. In today's podcast, we are diving into the solution to these struggles. And to help us, we have an incredible guest, Dhruv Patel. Dhruv comes from a very small town in India and grew up with big dreams, not just his own, but also those of his father. He took a leap of faith, leaving his hometown to pursue the higher education, and arrived in Canada at the end of 2022 as a student. Despite being advised about the tough job market, facing the unusual odds stacked against the newcomer, Dhruv didn't give up. He networked, applied the right strategies, and used his curiosity and determination to land his first job as a business analyst at one of the largest telecom firm in Canada. In this podcast, we are going to uncover Dhruv's mindset, his approach, and the lessons we can learn from his journey. And before we dive in, I want to take a moment to thank each one of you for your likes and your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that button and you won't want to miss what's coming next. Enjoy the episode. Hi Dhruv, thanks for being on my show. How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Doing very well. It's just a holiday season morning and looking forward to having a great conversation with you.
I'm excited also for this conversation. And how about your days going at your job?
It is good. It's a busy time of the year. I think we all have the time that we are recording this podcast. It's in December, so it has been very busy. Everybody wants to go on vacation, and then we have to finish all those small bits and pieces before the holiday season begins, so that when we come in the next year, we have everything streamlined, everybody's focused, and the new things bring new energy, new zeal, new passion, new ideas. So we have to make sure, as a product owner, as a business analyst, everything is streamlined, organized, structured in a way that you are a brainchild of a project, so you have to make everything aligned so that when you come back from the vacation, everybody knows what exactly they need to do.
Sounds fair. I think next year would be exciting for you then.
Yeah, and happy new year in advance to you too as well, and Merry Christmas.
Thank you and Happy New Year to you as well and all the audiences who is going to see this podcast.
Definitely. So, Dhruv, as you know, this podcast is all about inspiring the aspirants, motivating the individuals to become a better version of themselves, sharing that kind of insight that no one has talked about. so that the software development lifecycle ecosystem becomes a better place and we have a community that drives each other in every time. And for the same reason, I connect with people around me. And during this process, I have been fortunate to get connected to you on LinkedIn, someone I found very inspirational. You came to Canada. I think you came to Canada in around 2023 only,
I
not too
came
long ago.
in I came in October 2022.
Okay, so not too long ago, as a student with no professional work experience, joined a college in Canada, completed the course, landed a job in one of the largest telecom company as a senior business analyst, and that too when the market was really tough. Layoffs were happening. There were no jobs in the market. Hiring was at the lowest time. So I want to know your journey, your story, and who you are as a person.
I would start from the step where I was curious about data analytic as the first place. So I started looking for some courses and programs at Conestoga College and other colleges in Canada. And I found one course, then I rejected because it was outside city. Then I came to know about IT business analysis. Although I did not know much about this, but I was curious to know about the field. So I started learning on LinkedIn Learning at the first place, and that's where journey started. So before even coming to Canada, I started my journey. That's what I can say. I started attending workshop from college from India, and the program hasn't started yet. So I would say it's curiosity that made me come here, and at that the same curiosity that landed me a job. So I was before curious about data analytics. So I learned whatever I can learn. I built the projects and I connected with a lot of professional from the scratch. I had like 19 followers or connection on LinkedIn before. Right now it's more than 7,000 followers. On connection basis, it would be 5,000, I believe. I haven't checked that, but on follower basis, it's 7,000. So I came a long way. I started learning from people and implementing those learning into action. So that's what my journey has been. And yes, I graduated in 2023, I believe. And from that to this day, I have connected to more people also after even graduation.
So, this passion about coming to Canada came when you were already graduating back home, or is it something that somebody inspired you that, hey, go to Canada, live a Canadian dream? What was that thought process?
I think this is the great question. So I come from very small village in Gujarat, India. I don't have that educational background where uh, people can say that, okay, this is the country you can go in. Yes, my father wanted me to come to Canada, but my initial thought was to go outside, apart from India, or I would say apart from my hometown. I want to live somewhere. So I
So
had a
you
curiosity to
basically
go
wanted to
outside.
go out of the Gujarat and study
Yes,
somewhere else, not necessarily
yes,
go out of country.
yes. And I had a time before, like where I lived in a boarding school which was outside my hometown, and I had really fun there. I studied there 3 years. I learned a lot. So I got to know that if you are living outside your family, you will learn a lot of things in less time because you are doing everything by yourself. So I had a curiosity to go out. Yes, but my motivation was my father. He wanted me to come to Canada and get a desired band score. Then only I'll pay your institution fees and everything. So he motivated me a lot.
That's very inspirational, and you look forward to fulfilling your father's dream of coming to Canada. So you got the desired score. You applied for college. You got a visa. You came to Canada.
Yes.
Did you get any surprises when you came to Canada for the first time that, okay, you thought that you would become so and so, and now the college and the life, or any kind of shocks that you got when you came here?
I think the first day was itself a shock for me because I did not realize that after coming to Canada, it would happen. So, what happened is like my friend told me, come here, we would visit some places on first 3, 4 days, and then I'll drop you wherever you want to live. So, basically, my motive is to come to Kitchener, obviously, for study. But I landed to Toronto, and my friend on the first day told me that I am busy with some work. I have some shift, so I cannot go out with you. So I'm dropping you on Kitchener. So it was like switching moment where he was telling me before coming to Canada that we will visit some places. So that was initial shock because after landing here, I got to know that not every situation would be same on every day. So that was the situation where he needed to change plan. So my plans also got changed. So I think that's what I learned that like every day would be different in the initial stages where you're learning a lot, where you're adapting to culture. So that was a kind of culture I would say. He was working and he had some other timings, so he needed to change the schedules. Then we
Hmm.
met again, but that initial days I needed to change plans after coming to Canada, like from first day itself.
Absolutely. I think sometimes what is more important is we have to accept it, we have to be flexible and move on because the end goal is very important. These are small little things that keep changing in our lives, and we shouldn't be hurdled or stopped, or we shouldn't be making this as a big thing. We should keep moving. So
Yes.
you basically, you said you got a college, you got an admission in college. What college was it? What was the exact course name that you basically joined?
So I joined IT business analysis at Conestoga College downtown campus. My initial thought was to go to the Dune because it's a big campus, but I got an offer from downtown, so I accepted it. And that's where I started studying and connecting with a lot of people from Kitchener downtown. And sometimes I did visit Dune as well, where I learned a lot of things. So my initial course was IT business analysis, but I did connected with different professional from analytics as well, like data analytics, business analytics, big data analytics, I would say, yes.
Hmm. Okay. So today, two business analysts are going to talk to each other, yourself and myself. So what happens is when I got my business analysis thought process in my mind, when I started my career, just like yours, I had my basic master's degree, bachelor's degree in computer science, master's degree in computer science, and we all had an aspiration of becoming of software engineer, but we didn't know
Yeah.
software engineers are so many types: software developers, backend developers, database developers. I think 14 years ago when I did, there was only website development. So we knew that, okay, there is hardware, there is network, there is
Yeah.
website, there is mobile. How did you decide? You mentioned you wanted to do data, but what came in in your mind that, okay, I need to do data, I need to do business analysis? What was that? Why not software engineering?
I think I was not particularly sure that I wanted to land a job where there is a main source of responsibility is data. No, I was open to any industry, whether it be software development side or whether it be, let's say, consulting side, where like project management side, or whether it be data analytics side. I was open, I was learning, but my advantage was in data. That's what I got to know. Why? Because in my college projects, and as I had a curiosity of analytics, I worked on dashboards and other analytics work more. So I had evidences there more, which I reflected on resume. And that's how employers even interested in my work regarding data analytics more rather than software development or not. So I did learn that, but as I had more evidences in data, that's where I was landing more opportunities. Or that's where even people suggested me that, okay, so whenever I reached out to any new person, let's say business system analyst or any manager of business system analysis, they suggested me that reach out to any person or any director from analytics. I thought why they are suggesting me to connect with analytics, but based on my LinkedIn profile and the project's work, they got to know that this person can be a good fit in analytics side. So I think some professionals suggested me, and that's how I started even networking more into analytics, and that's where I felt more confident later on. So
Hmm.
that's what my
So
journey. But yes, I was open. to learn any part of the BA.
So you mentioned while you were doing your, you didn't had any background experiences in analytics or data side or business analysis side. But when you came to Canada, where while you were studying IT business analysis, you mentioned you had passion about data, you were studying about the data, but how did you collect these evidences? Because you were still unsure. So what kind of projects were you doing on your journey while you were studying or before you came to Canada that showed that these are the evidences?
I think I built evidences based on my curiosity and natural instinct, I would say. Whenever I was doing any project, I did a lot of projects and assignments, but I felt really good when I was building any dashboard. So whenever it comes to dashboarding projects, let's say researching on a company, finding some question and asking those questions by building a dashboard and data visualization, that's where I had really fun. So what was my mindset during that time is I used to build those projects in a way that I can show that projects later on a LinkedIn or in my portfolio and speak about that projects in interview. So that was my mindset even during like I I make that projects. So I think that's how I built my portfolio of dashboards more because I had
Mm.
fun during data visualization.
So, in short, you're saying that whenever we are doing anything, we should keep the evidences, we should collect them, build a case study around it. Whether you do data analytics or business analytics or business analysis or Scrum Master or any other professional education that you're doing, it's very important that you collect the evidences. You keep the things in pipeline, build a portfolio for yourself so that when you're able to present it to the people who are hiring managers, they know your traits
Yes.
instead of just yeah, that's quite the thing. I think I was mentioning about my time when I was becoming a business analyst. I had a normal master's or bachelor's degree, but I came to know about business analysis from knowing or by studying in US that if you don't want to be too much into programming, if you don't want to be too much into the business, there is something which is a mediator
Yeah.
between both of them, where you are not just completely developer but not just completely business, and you want to be a mix of both. This could be an amazing, and I was very good at it. I felt like I don't want to leave the technical side. What do we call? So while networking with people, people said business analysis is something, or system analysis is something, data analysis is something. The word analysis is the area where you can be. And I started to progress in that field very well. It's been 14 years now. I still feel like a lot to learn. I still enjoy every bit of business analysis, whether it is data analysis, you say, whether it is business analysis, you say. I think I enjoy the thing. So, coming to you, you got into admission, you got into the college, you started getting the traction around the data analytics. One thing, did you ever realize that education at college, theoretical subjects versus once you get into the real world, is there a difference?
I think there is a much difference. So during the projects we build, like during the college or whatever we work apart from the main corporate side, it's the data set. I'm speaking in terms of my experience. So let's assume there is a data set I'm working on at college, and there is a data set I'm working at corporate at any. Let's say I worked at one of the best telecom companies. The data set was huge difference because the data set I worked before, it was streamlined. There was no cluttered. We can analyze that data and tell the answers in a very efficient way because there is no clutter and there are no outliers. And in real life data set, it's very cluttered. You need to go really deep to find the insights. So it's not easy to find the one insight and tell the answers to hierarchy to the directors. So I think that was a much difference. So compared to corporate, yes, you are working and that would help you to build your foundation to work further. but eventually you find challenges. But that's actually good learning point. And you would also feel same way where you felt at the first time that, for example, if I'm working on any new project, I don't know anything. The same feeling you would have in your first corporate experience. But it's a learning curve, and I learned a lot. So any person who is building a first project with like with any curiosity, just be curious, and there will be challenges, different challenges when building a first project at college and building any new presentation based on the insights at corporate world. So both
Mm,
would be different, but challenge is the word. Every time you
mhm.
face new challenge and you need to tackle it.
Great. So, was your title at the corporate business analyst or data analyst? Were you hired because your work experience seems to be more of a data side, your previous thing. So, was it a business analyst or a data analyst?
So previous the title was senior business and data analyst, and it was written finance. So it was with the finance team, financial planning and analytics. So it was more of 70% analytics role and 30% management role. That's most BA do, like project management, gathering requirements, having meeting with different stakeholders. So
Hmm.
yes, otherwise more 70% it was business analytics.
Hmm. So, again, coming to our same topic, where the education versus experience. So, I will come to the point on how the interview happens, how the job process happens. But what I want to do is bridge the understanding. If the education was done at the college, and then when it comes to the real world hiring, you mentioned about the data side, but what about the onboarding side? What about the knowledge about how to interact with people, how to interact with stakeholders? Was it all taught at the college, or was that it was manageable, or that you learned on the go? How that transition happened? Because a college graduate with no experience of corporate getting into one of the largest telecom firm, there must be some fear in you on the day one, or maybe weeks pass by, right?
Yes, there was a fear. I don't know about fear, but I was curious and I was taking challenge. I was talking with people. And what I found great is that I talked with a person. I used to work at Walmart, and I talked with the one guy. He worked as a data analyst and in one of the consumer services. So he suggested me that get a field job and it would be advantage for you. So after that suggestion, I was really curious to connect with people. So initially, yes, there was some theoretical part I learned at college about stakeholders, ECBA, which is entry level certified business analyst certification. So I got to know a lot of things at college, yes, but it was more of theoretical. Income when it comes to real life based experience, because of my natural curiosity, I talk with a lot of people and a lot of strangers. I think that's where I built a skill which is emotional intelligence, and that skill helped me a lot in any interaction I had with any professional, even with professors. And that same skill helped me in this domain, which is business analysis. So I think having meetings with different people, and I was also curious to know about companies. So I did attend one of the event from Sun Life. I went to Sun Life and I saw the floor and everything. I saw the office. So that feeling was great, and I met with Scrum Master. She was Scrum Master. So that's how I got to know different stakeholders, where I was putting myself out and meeting new people. So yes, initially I was hesitant, but still I was reaching out to people. Still I was talking to strangers, and there was some hard or awkward situation as well, where I talked with the stranger and they were like, "Oh, why this guy is talking to me?" So yes, there were some odd conversation as well, but still I kept talking and I kept looking for new experiences, what I can learn from other people, especially from our industry.
I think this is one of the very cool thing about Canada, or I think I would say about the North America, that people are very open to do networking. A lot of people will say yes. Some people who might not say yes, maybe they have their own situation
Yes.
that they are trying to handle. Maybe they don't feel comfortable in talking to such thing, but I believe it's a inbuilt nature of everyone to help and go beyond and spread that knowledge. So you said very one of the very important thing that once you got a job, you started connecting with people, you started connecting with identifying your neighboring people, started talking to them, started talking to strangers, and even before that you were doing that. Your curious mindset kept you going and asking right type of questions so that you get comfortable in the skin and people start to adopt you. uh, any other day one challenges that you felt like maybe I don't understand what this system is, I don't understand what these people are talking about? Any other challenges like that?
Okay, so this is the challenge I want to talk about. Like, if anybody is watching this video and if they feel they are different compared to their class, don't feel that way. Just be curious and learn from it and be empathetical with the people, because the things you are doing, there are chances other people will not understand. Because when I was in class, there were 33 people in my class, and most people were professionals. Like, they had good amount of experience back home. They had like 10 years of experience, 7 years of experience. They were proficient in their skill, but I was young. Like, in my class, there was some students were young, like 23, 24, and I was in that category. So I did not have much experience. So people used to say that it would be harder to get a business analyst role at the beginning, and it would be a lot harder. So I think, don't hear that. Yes, it would be harder, but if you are working from day one, there would be some opportunities you would see. Even my friend recently got a job at CIBC at as a business analyst, and it was a new grad role. So he did not have any experience. The main point is, when you don't have experience and when you are upskilling a lot, when you are doing a lot more things compared to your peers, because you are a new grad or you are a fresh mind where you don't have much skills, where you are building the skills. Yes, there will be some of the routine that would be different. Your routine would be different than others, who those who already have experience. That can be a happening thing. So don't feel that way, that you are doing a lot of more work and people are just enjoying. It's your choice. Manage your time according to your schedule or whatever you feel, but don't feel different if you are doing a lot more things. And at certain point, somebody is saying that you are doing a lot of things, but it would be not worth it. So don't listen that. Whatever you are doing, it will help you later on. So
Yeah.
that was the
you know
challenge.
I keep telling my students, the one basically that I mentor or coach people, I tell them one thing, and you said a very good point, which is on the same trail. Assumption is something that you do and you are putting in your head that is blocking you from moving forward. Example, if I have something in my mind, I'm a business analyst. The biggest strength of a business analyst is being unbiased about any topic. I give you a small example. Imagine that you're coming from an insurance domain for about, let's say, 10 years. You hit another project, now telecom project. You will bring all your historical experience of insurance into the telecom industry and you will try to compare against, okay, A in insurance equals to A in telecom. I say, no, that's not how it works. You need to be strong at doing business analysis, but don't compare that experience with this experience. Of course experience matters, but if you bring your biased opinion about that particular requirement gathering session in your current one, it will not work. You
Yeah.
just need to do the business analysis in the right way. Forget about everything else. Number two, the second important thing that I feel like is any biased opinion that you bring in mind blocks you from thinking out of the box. As a business analyst, it's very important that you go out of the box. Think about being a child who doesn't know anything and who is open or she is open to try, take risk, talk about it. I can give a very good example as you were speaking. If I have assumption in mind, I might not be gathering a requirement, and I would say, okay, maybe Mr. Alex knows everything about it, and he or she might be thinking, okay, this is a requirement, and I would assume on it, and I would fail to collect the requirement. Perhaps the situation could be different. Maybe Alex wants to give a requirement which is totally different than what I might be thinking about, and at the end what happened, I couldn't collect that requirement. So I believe you're very right. As a new college grad, first of all, stop assuming that they know everything. You go with your own instinct. If you have learned, be open, be confident. If you have learned very well, if you have spent enough time, if you have done enough homework, projects, built a portfolio, go ahead and present it. People like that confidence.
Yes.
Right. Did you get any onboarding time to get onboarded to their project, to the company? Or was it like day one, start performing as a business analyst?
It was day one, start performing like that. Yes, I had some initial presentations and where I got to know about projects and all. But yes, it was a day one that I started learning about the main project and started working.
Did you not feel like, come on, they have not even given me anything, or no time, they should give me some spare,
I mean,
nothing?
I did feel that way, but it was my first corporate experience, so I had like immense respect that they gave me the chance. And yes, I do not know a lot of things how first 3 months at any corporate or any job. So I just accepted the role. I had a fun in my team. I learned a lot of things. But yeah, it was the first day that I started learning about the project. And I believe in 1 month or first week, we started moving forward in this project.
See, again, such an inspirational thing for all of us. If you do not know multiple options, you accept the way it is and you start working on it because you feel like there is no plan B. If I knew, if I had an experience and I would have thought, okay, in other corporate world, people are getting 2 weeks of onboarding process, 3 weeks of onboarding process, I would have been like, this company is so tough on me. Why are they so tough on me? Why are they so hard on me? Why are they giving me work on the day one? Now that you never knew, you never had a corporate experience, you took that as a challenge. You were like, this is how corporate world basically
Yeah.
exists. And we got to start performing, and you took it very happily, and you had the potential in you.
I mean, it was a learning curve, and I did learn some specific things. But what I can say is, it's like that was also beginning step, right? I acted as a child, I acted as a beginner. That yes, I need to learn a lot of things, and when I am a young, I need to learn. So I accepted that role, and yes, I had a learnings in past couple of months. What I learned is like immense. I would say it will help me a lot in next career.
Hmm. You mentioned something about emotional intelligence. uh, the curious mind, I understand, but emotional intelligence, how did that help you?
I mean, I did not know about emotional intelligence as a skill. What I know is like talking to people, listening to people. And there was a word I used a lot, even at my corporate job, even at my class, even whenever I'm talking with my professor, that I am a people person. So I think in business analyst role, I think people person, it's also advantage, I would say, because you are talking with people and you are also going to talk with different stakeholders. Some stakeholders would be hard to work with, but still you need to work with them and you need to facilitate good meetings. So I think that what I know initially based on some theoretical knowledge, I did not know more about the skill, but I was more of curious about some aspect where I can listen people. I had curiosity to learn the behaviors. So I think that's where I started learning it. And once I got some understanding, I researched that skill on YouTube and on Google. That's where I got to know what this skill means. And I think this skill can help in lot of ways in different careers, not only in business analysis. So I think that's where I started learning it, and I'm still learning, I would say.
Definitely. Emotional intelligence plays such an important role. As far as I know, as a BA, Babook, which is IABA's body of knowledge book, version 3, it says that there are six type of skills that are very important. One of them is analytical and problem solving, communication, behavioral, ethical, and then technological skills, and many other skills. There are six total of skills that are required. Emotional intelligence falls under some of this category, where you directly don't have to learn, but you have to observe, you have to pretend, you have to imbibe in yourself, observe it in such a way that even if you're analytically thinking, don't be so spontaneous. I can give an example. Let's say that I'm in a requirement gathering session. A stakeholder is talking about certain things that he or she is expecting or trying to solve. You have to have a very good listening skill. Don't be so spontaneous in speaking outright, asking questions. May not sound right. Let that person finish the entire thing, process it, ask the right type of question. If you don't feel like you don't have a question, wait. Come back after 1 hour, come back after 2 hour, come back after next day. At least get something verified. This is one of the area, but that was just in listening. What about in speaking? Go slow, go calm, go composed, prepare your things well, do your homework well. What about actively analytically thinking? Research about the environment, research about the thing, research about the person, be empathetical. Maybe that person has got something to solve the problem of the people who are emotionally attached to it. Maybe you just can't be business oriented all the time where you can't get the information. So I realize myself emotional intelligence not just in business analysis, but also in my day to day life in order to win people and become a better people person.
Yes,
Very, very important. I think people always misunderstand. They think by learning Babook, they will learn everything about business analysis, but no. You got to start implementing it in your day
yes,
to day life in the right manner, in the right process in order to get through it.
yes.
Right?
I agree with the notion you had, and that's where actually comes what comes in is like action. Now you learned the things, that's great, but take action because if you don't take action, you would be hesitant to even talk to people. And if you're hesitant to talk to people, it would be harder to even work as a business analyst.
Right. By the way, there are lots of rejection. You mentioned there are difficult stakeholders. So rejections not only happen in job interviews or job applications, but rejection has many form. Even in requirement gathering session there are rejections. Example, people are not willing to give you requirements, but they don't tell you directly that, hey Afaq, I will not give you requirement. They will be very busy, they will pretend to be busy, they will pretend to not like you, they will pretend to not give you everything, they will pretend to not give you time to give you requirement. And we have to understand them, we have to win their hearts, we have to know what exactly we can do to make them happy. At the end of
Yes,
the day, if you're confident, you're emotionally intelligent, you're able to perform the business analysis duties as expected, the result is happy customer. Happy customer means more revenue. More revenue means at the end your benefit of upskilling yourself
yes.
in the role.
And even with stakeholders, whenever I reached out even to any new stakeholder, it's like everybody has their own set of duties based on their job description they saw before, and that's how they signed the offer. So their main duty is not to give you the requirements. However, to win the company or to help the company in a certain way, you are playing the role to talk with them, and they are also playing the role to help you in such a way that we ultimately can help the company. So I think it's all combined efforts. So we need to think in that way and be empathetical with the any person who is saying that, oh, I'm not available today. Ask them for a day tomorrow or maybe another day to have a meeting and gather that requirement.
Very true. Very, very true. So, Dhruv, I see you're very active on social media, LinkedIn to be very specific. You were already doing some kind of YouTube before. And I keep seeing your post on LinkedIn every other day talking about business analysis, data analytics, something or the other. You're quite active. Tell me, when you were at a college, you mentioned several times you were networking, but what is your approach of networking as a fresher?
As in, you need to show your personality on LinkedIn because LinkedIn is a social media platform. Yes, it's a professional social media platform, so you can talk about your professional life, whatever you are learning, and you can also talk about the things you enjoy. Let's say I enjoy. playing volleyball. Sometimes I go outside. That also shows your personality, that you are managing your professional life. You're also having fun. You also do have like personal life. That that builds a kind of personality that other people want to connect with. So show their personality in whatever way you can. Maybe with posting. After connecting with people, you can have coffee chat with them. You can talk about their lifestyle, how they work at their workplace, and what fun thing they also do. So that's how you connect with people. So ultimately, it's a social media platform. You need to connect with other person. So you need to find common grounds. So that's how you need to show your personality. Because just imagine LinkedIn is a platform where everybody show their resumes only, nothing else. How can I know who the person will be after getting hired? Like, what can I expect from him apart from professional life to connect as a person? Because ultimately, to work in a better way, we also need to connect as a person. So you need to show your personality at the same time, you need to show your professional life, like what you are learning and what challenges you are facing and what is the learning from it as well. Maybe sometimes you can ask about those challenges to other professionals, those who had same challenges. That's how you connect. So I would say it's a both way. I reached out to people upfront to learn from them. Yes, initially my approach was bad. I did not know how to reach out to people. So I used to talk about myself only when I used to reach out. But it's not about you only at this every time. It's about other people. So wherever you feel curious about any profile, let's see if I had a curiosity about you as well. For example, I saw your video on LinkedIn and I found it interesting. I shared that same video with other professional because I found that insightful and I commented, I believe, and then how I reached out to you and then how we connected. So I think it was a warm outreach that I did. So same thing, do that. If you feel something insightful, comment on their post. Reach out to them. That's how you start connecting. So don't think a lot. Just first see this platform, how platform works.
Yeah, that is very true. I think uh, in social media platform, the biggest challenge people are not trying to understand or they feel like is the first step, the first message, the first post, the first outreach, the first connect. They feel so burdened that will people accept me? Will people accept my request? Will people like my post? Will people like my content? When I started YouTube, it's just October that I started, and I think in couple of days, and I'm expecting that before 31st, it will go to 10,000 subscribers.
Awesome.
In so October, November, December, 3 months, I'm looking forward to 10,000 subscribers. That means the first step that I took of creating that video was the most difficult one. It took me couple of weeks to even start, plan, hesitant, yes, no. But we started. The same thing with LinkedIn. The first step is the most important one. You got to get started. In in your case, because you were a fresher, you were into the market, you knew that you have to get connected and you were passionate about it. What was can you guide us with how was your step to reach out, because you mentioned that it is not just about me, it is about you also. So what was your step in reaching out to people and connecting with them for a coffee chat? What was your outcome of that coffee chat?
To reach out to people, what we can talk about is like if anybody's posting, that's good point. You can interact with their post. And if you find anything insightful, you can comment on that and then how you can reach out that I found your post insightful. Would you like to connect or something? It can be quick message talking about whatever you feel insightful from their profile or from their post. Reach out to them. And if any particular skill that you are curious to learn and they have the skills, then it's a good point to reach out that we both are from same field and I found this skill useful. Would you like to connect and chat? So it's just reach out. It's not a strict format or something. Reach out to people. You will get to know later on, day by day, when
Do you
you're.
get rejections?
I don't know about rejection. Yes, I did get some rejection. Even I had some tough time uh, communicating with one guy from, I think it was a big company. But my initial reach out that okay, we are both from same country and we can connect and all. So he told me that, oh, you are only connecting with your country only. He got in a different way. My approach was not that way, but that's the point where you are also building emotional intelligence skills, where you are empathetical about the people. So yeah, sometimes your outreach might not work. People are busy. So don't think a lot. Reach out to people on a regular basis. It's up to you that how much people you are reaching out, but reach out to people on a day-to-day basis whenever you feel. So I think switching the platform would help a lot. So when I landed, I switched to main platform as a LinkedIn rather than Instagram. So I made a habit of using this platform more so I can observe the platform, how the platform works, how people connect with here. Because if you notice in Canada, if you are coming as a newcomer, if I am coming as a newcomer, I would not find a lot of people on Instagram. I would only find a lot of people on LinkedIn, which is professional connection, I would say. And that's what we want at the beginning. We want to connect professionally. And that later, if we found great bond and great bonding, yes, then we can go for some game if they enjoy the game. And that's how showing the personality also help. If both people like playing volleyball, they can play volleyball and also share their insights. I think that would be also fun in later on journey after connecting professionally. That's the plus point, but yes, it helps also.
How long does your interview usually go, or talk with any person on coffee chat go? 15, 30 minutes or 1 hour?
In starting conversation, I did not set any particular time limit. So you can assume 45 minutes, 30 minutes. It depends on the person. If they are really want to talk with me, I talk more. But right now I set the limit, either 15 minutes, 30 minutes, because I do care about others' time now. It's very important. And I mostly prefer call. If opposite person is willing to have a call with me, I talk on a call, or either I send them Zoom link or Google link or Calendly. Sometimes I also send that to book any meeting and have a coffee chat.
Yeah. So what do you find a common ground to talk to? You mentioned that you like a profile, you are curious about that person, you want to know. So what what makes you talk about that particular topic? Example, there is a data analytic professional in your market. You find his profile very impressive. So now you want to talk. So you outreach to that person, and what is that subject of conversation that you basically begin with? Is it like, I want to know more about this, or is it like, I'm passionate to connect with you, or can you please explain me? What is that interaction?
Okay, so I reached out to a lot of people, and what I know is like, yes, I was reaching out to people where I want to work. If somebody is working at great company and at the same company, I also want to work. I will reach out to that person. But my initial intention was not only like getting a job at that workplace. It's about connecting with people. So that person who is working at the company, what his journey was in past. So I try to learn from that journey. So whatever mistakes they have made, I can learn from this mistake and I can learn faster this way. So for example, if anybody is working as a manager at any good company and they before worked as a senior BA business analyst, they also did their co-op. So I would learn from their experience and I would start asking questions regarding those particular areas that you did work here 4 months as and there was a co-op. What was the challenges you faced? So I think if I get to know that challenges, I can work on those challenges early on. So that's how I used to reach
Mm,
out. And it's about their experiences I used to ask question. It's not about the company they are working in. Yes, if I have the question, I can ask, but mostly I see the profile and wherever I found curiosity, I talked about that only. So
mm,
yes, initial you can say. So let me give you a good example. When I was working with uh, my company, I reached out to the same company people who switched to another company. So I reached out to same people, and that's how I built the bond. It is like common ground. We worked in the same company. Now they are working in another company. So my main question was how you made the transition. How was your experience? What initial skills you learned here that is helping you in the new role as well in the new company. So this is how it's about learning skill and finding that curiosity point. where they made the switch or they upgraded themselves into new position in the same company or another company, what challenges they faced, what action they took to get there. So you can double down that process and get there soon, or at least you
Mm.
can learn those skills, right?
So networking seems to be very important, seems to be very crucial in today's age. Coming back to your education that you finished, what, how did you land into your first job in one of the largest telecom firm as a senior business analyst? Can you tell me the entire strategy, your success strategy of getting your first job as a senior business analyst who's a fresher, who doesn't have any computer science background, but yes, passion, data analytics, project experience, your portfolio. How did you land into a job?
I think focusing on who is the solution in this case. So rather than focusing on how to do it, focusing on who is the solution. So I approached my coach, and there are multiple coach right now in Canada. So I approached one of the coach and I paid the fees, and he taught me some of the skills. He also taught me how to reach out efficiently, and that's how I started my journey properly. After graduation, you would say, before graduation, I was doing everything by myself, but after working with them, I find good results. So I think focusing on who is solution. At the same time, for example, if anybody wants to be product owner or in business analytics fields, you are also making content, you're also giving advice and mentorship to people. So I think if somebody find you and they've got to know a lot of things about Canada because you have worked with a lot of companies, you also have experience. So it's like, rather than focusing on how to do this, focusing on who did that, so they can teach you better, and at least their guidance can help you learn those skills in less time, because it's like
Mhm.
targeted approach.
So, what was your approach in getting a
So
successful job?
yes, I think that's what I missed. But so my approach was, I used to reach out on people like on LinkedIn. Sometimes I did cold emailing too for interviews, and there was time where I used to post also, and there was some targeted post, I would say. So if I wanted to get a job in analytics, I used to post about analytics more later on, and whatever I feel curious about, for example, presentation, executive presentation, data visualization. So there was some topics which I picked and I used to post about that. So I got a call from recruiters. So it was inbound, you would say. I applied for one of the position, but they called me for another position because they already had my resume ready. And I built my resume by working with my coach. So I had everything ready, and I used to post, I used to reach out, I did some cold emailing, and those who are hiring also I reached out for interviews. But those who are not hiring, I used to reach out to them, have coffee chats, and learn from them. So that was initial breaking point when I got a call from recruiter. So I used to apply, and that's how I got a call. And because that also built engagement, because when you're applying, reaching out to people, posting, you're also commenting on same industry professionals post, people would see you that this person is really proactive, he's working hard, at least let me call him and let's see if he's a good fit for this role. And that's how you get a call someday. Or even if you don't get a call, by after having multiple coffee chats, people will willing to refer you if you're working on yourself, and if you have that fire to work hard, people are going to like refer you if you are putting in the efforts, and that's how you can also land any role later on after referral.
So you got an inbound call for this particular role. You had your resume prepared. You were already prepared from the interview standpoint. You cracked the first shot, or was it like multiple rounds of interview?
So it was 2 rounds. Where with recruiter, it was really great. It was quick call. On call, I am like really great. I have that tendency to talk really good at call. So I talked really good. She told me that send me a resume and cover letter at my email. At the same time, apply on the site as well. I applied, and that's how. And she told me that if directors like me, they will reach out to me directly. So after a week, they send me a message for interview for second round. And in second round, I cracked the interview and I landed the job. So it was 2 rounds only. because it was a mixed of role. I I assume that there would be a third round as well to taste my skills on analytics like SQL and everything. But there was no third round in my case. So I cracked the second round and I got a job.
Mm. So you're so basically there was one recruiter round and one technical round, but no
Yes,
practical experience. It was all about your resume, your education, and all of that thing. And basically you got hired directly.
I would say it was mindset. They were checking my answers, like they were asking me some great questions. Based on the question and answers, that's how I got a role. And obviously, I built a credibility on my portfolio, like Tableau Public. Also, I built the great projects.
Hmm.
So I think that's where I build the credibility, and maybe their screening round would be like 2 rounds. That's what I can assume. It depends on the company to company, but what I know is like you anybody can expect 3 interviews at least. One recruiter, one with management team or panel interview to check the behavior, how the person will be fit or not, their personality and the way he's approaching people or any other things. And third round would be technicality, whether the person is efficient in his work or not.
So during this time when you graduated, were you applying to other positions? Were there any success applying besides where you actually secured and you wanted to work with? Were you applying anywhere else?
I did not apply, I would say, but I reached out to people still. Even I got a job as a senior BA. I still reached out to a lot of managers, those who worked with this company, and I also like that they worked in a great company. They are also working hard in other company or the same company. I reached out to them and asked curiosity driven questions to learn more. So yes, reaching out was constant for me from day one, I would say.
Until now,
Yes, today also I reach out to people.
I see. So if a new graduate or a new student who basically has arrived to Canada, has a Canadian dream, has a proper education or not so proper education, but are willing to get into this software development industry, either becoming a business analyst, a product owner, scrum master, project manager, business analytic, data analytics, what is your piece of advice or wisdom of advice that you want to give to them so that they are very successful?
I think people do not know about the role first, and that's where they lack a lot of things. So first I would suggest see the roles, see the job description, what is the current requirement about business analyst. You would see a lot of different requirements. Some requirements would be regarding data, some requirements regarding software development, where you want to go in. So for that you can research, like people can research IIBA career path. They would see a lot of different role in that. It's a great visual that I saw. So based on the particular side like agile, analytics, product, where you want to go as a BA, see that side and upskill in that direction more. I'm not saying that that would be only path you are going to take. Learn in different direction, but make a strong foundation of one thing that you feel curious about. So in my case it was analytics, so I made that evidence is more there. If somebody is like want to work in product side, they need to upskill in software development side more because they need to help to build a great product. Great, so it's about digital transformation, and this kind of terminologies they can learn further, or maybe they can work in any volunteering role where they are working in gathering requirement or management side. They're also, let's say they are building any normal website, but they are helping to gather requirements from user, and it's a volunteering role. So if they work in that side, that's how they can showcase their work, that I worked in digital transformation, I do have some software development lifecycle experience, and I also talk with people and gather requirements. So they can show their skills, soft skills, technical skills, and terminologies. They can talk in interview, and that's how somebody can relate to it. If you are hiring any new business analyst, what you would look for. So I think that's
Very
how putting into the shoes of manager, like what your future managers will be.
so you know what? You said it very right, but there are some people who are very fresh graduate. and they're very newcomers as well, and they feel stuck or disheartened in this journey. They feel like, okay, I came from a very good position back home. I've done such an amazing education. I'm very qualified. I can speak well. I have all that skill that, let's say, this person has, that person has, but I still don't get it. One of the thing that I realized is that people start comparing uh, ourselves to others, or our journey to others' journey. My personal belief is that in this case, it's okay if things takes time. It's okay that the things are tough on you, especially when you are in a new country or a fresh out college. It's also very okay to get very overwhelmed with the job market and the rejections of getting disheartened. But I feel like you're not just alone in this market. Everyone faces setback. Some feel setback when they are in their career peak. Some people faces a setback when they are starting their new career. Some people face a setback after joining the company, and everybody has their own set of failure. I feel like take this as an opportunity to learn and grow, and take that feedback into the next best version. As you mentioned, there are several steps that you can do. Focus on small things, learn a good skill, consistently step up, learn a new skill, improve your resume, reach out to people, network, and most importantly, be curious. Don't be afraid of asking help. There is so much of people, mentors, network, find the right people, uh, can keep building genuine connection, just not the
Yes,
connection but the genuine connection, uh, and not just take information but also give information, support them, guide them, keep believing in yourself, let others also believe in themselves, so that you get uh, because you get closer to the yes, and not to worry too much about the rejection that you feel.
yes,
Do you agree with it?
yes, I do agree with that. I think building genuine connection will help a long way because that's what I also know. When I initially reached out to a lot of people, I did connect, not by thinking to get a job, but by thinking to learn from them, or either I can talk about my expertise to them. Sometimes it's both way. People can learn from you, you can also learn from them. And if you are a person who already have a good amount of experience, that can help both way. You can also teach other people. It's not about teaching at the first place, like not advising before somebody asks to you, but when you connect with people, they will also feel curious about your profile if you have good amount of experience and you have showcased your projects and everything. So that's how you can build a good connection where it's not about you, it's about them also, and you both can learn from each other. And if you are a fresh grad, then obviously it's lot to learn from others. So learn, and when you're showcasing your expertise, if people are curious to know about you, they will also ask to you.
Very true, very true. So I think your story is a very powerful reminder for all of us. If you're struggling to break through into new field or land a first job, remember, it's all about resilience, staying determined, staying curious. Even the odds are against you. Keep doing, keep learning, take small step every time, improve your skill, network with people, and reach out to people, build a portfolio, and don't underestimate the value of building a positive network. Surround yourself with people who can lift you, guide you, open the doors that you never thought would have been possible. My favorite saying at all time is be at the right time with the right people at the right place so that you're successful.
Yes. And
Yeah,
for that, you also need to be prepared during that time, that one call or that one moment where you're having with other people. If you are really prepared, they will also get to know. And that's how you build really strong connection.
absolutely. So, Dhruv, before we end our today's podcast, what is your vision for the next 2 to 3 years?
I think this is my main call that yes, you can plan to work on yourself, but right now I'm not sure. Yes, I'm sure that I want to reach a certain mile in terms of money number. So I do have that number in my mind that this is the amount I want to reach. Yes, I'm not speaking everywhere, but that's amount I reflected. So what can I do to reach that amount? Where which kind of skills I can learn to get a job and to get paid? So I think in my case it's amount. That's where I want to reach in 2, 3 years. In others' case, it can be any position, right? Because 2 years back, my main goal was to get a job, and it was a field job. And my target was how can I get a different job so I can work same 40 hours and I can get paid more. So I think that was my initial call back then, that how can I get paid more by working on same 40 hours. It's just a technique I use. It's not like we are only working 40 hours. Sometimes we work more than that.
Absolutely.
But that was my mindset. So in 2, 3 years, I want to reach at certain level in terms of number that I'm thinking in my mind. And for that, I need to build good habits. Otherwise, I would not reach it. So I'm trying to build those habits. It's really hard, I would say. Now I started again waking up at 5:30 a.m. and I'm trying to focus on that. So it's about habits. So if you can ask me what you where you want to reach in 2, 3 years, so it's about building good habits and stick to it for a longer period of time.
Yeah, that's very interesting, and I hope this brings this podcast brings a lot of motivation. As I mentioned in the beginning, inspiration. I was inspired. I wanted to talk to you. I wanted to share this journey with the rest of the audience. And my mission, my vision is that reach out to maximum people, build a community where people are able to help each other and uncover those realistic thing that people feel like is unrealistic. We You both are normal, we
Yeah.
both are normal lives, normal family, normal culture, coming from different backgrounds, ethnicity, but yet are a business analyst or an analyst in different fields, different approaches. People don't feel that way. It's just that you have to understand the process and crack it. So I am very thankful of you getting the time out today, coming onto our show, inspiring me and a lot of people who are going to watch this podcast. And thanks for being here, sharing your journey and inspiration with all of us.
Thank you so much this call, and I think I had a great time talking to you. One last thing I would say to everybody is that the dream or the thing you want in 2, 3 years or maybe in your life, somebody already done that just today, right now at this moment. So it's not that you are doing for the first time. A lot of people did for the first time and they got the things. Maybe right now somebody got a job as a business analyst. So that's how you can change your mindset that everything is possible and you need to take the action and see what's your habits on a daily basis. If your habits are not the if your habits are not matching with the job you are looking for, you need to change your habits.
Very true. Yeah, definitely. I think this is very key habit. I think I will attach one more thing: discipline.
Yes.
Discipline to do the same thing every day makes it a habit, and that habit is where it takes you to reach your goal. And you should not have multiple goals, you should have one goal at a time. This is what my belief is. If you have multiple goal, you're distracted, but have one goal at a time, have a manageable goal, achievable goal, and have a trail of habit, and that habit should be so common that you are able to achieve multiple goals in your
Yeah.
upcoming area. So thank you once again for being on the show, Dhruv. I highly appreciate your inspirational thing. I got inspired and I want to make good habits now for the better things that I want to do in my life. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.
You
Bye.
as well. Have a good day today.
Bye.
Bye bye.